The sins never die. Can't wash the blood off our hands. Let the world fill us all.
What's up everyone, Darcblade here with another episode in my tactical guidance operations for Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. In this episode we're going to be trying to achieve the S rank on the Prologue mission Awakening. Now when it comes to getting S ranks you have to be quick and efficient and as stealthy as possible. This doesn't mean that you cannot kill people, but if you do go for killing people it means you have to be very quick, if that makes sense. Also, because we are trying to be quick, we need to skip as many cutscenes as possible. The prologue is guilty of having many cutscenes, so in order to skip them you need to bring up the options menu, and here you have a chance to continue or skip. So skip as many cutscenes as possible, like I mentioned. If you cannot skip a cutscene, then it will simply go to the options menu. One thing I got to say before going into this video is I have skipped out a fair bit of the start of the prologue. During the prologue there are multiple scenes and a few sections where you control Snake that I have cut out in order to make this video shorter. These sections that have been cut out are pretty straightforward. There is nothing really special to say about them. All you're doing is following Ishmael. There is not a lot of freedom in the sections I have cut out. So when it comes to your playthrough, just skip them, skip over the cutscenes. If you have already made your avatar and that, just quickly make it up again, as well as entering your name and whatnot. After you've crawled under the beds and gone through into the next room, you've come to a section where you can possibly die. This is probably the first place where you're in danger. If you get spotted by the spotlight, it will instantly kill you. To best avoid this, all you have to do is simply stay behind Ishmael. To be honest, for the prologue, as long as you stay behind Ishmael for a lot of these set pieces, you will be fine. I know he can be a little bit slow at times, but it is the safest way to stay behind him and follow his lead. So once you've skipped all the cutscenes, you've made up your character, given them a name, date of birth, so on, you finally are in control of Snake. So in this sequence, it's a mini tutorial of sorts, trying to get you used to the controls and that, although this one's a set piece where it has Snake crawling about on the floor. It's fairly simple. All you have to do is follow Ishmael's orders. There will also be on-screen prompts and tutorials, giving you an idea of how the game controls, if this is your first time playing. This sequence can be a little bit tedious at times because the crawl speed is very slow during this section. It's even slower than the normal crawl speed when you're fit and healthy. Also, Snake keeps trying to prop himself up on furniture and that, as the drugs Ishmael gave him are trying to kick in. Now again, we're just crawling after Ishmael, nothing too special here. Eventually though, Snake will get back on his feet thanks to the drugs kicking in, and you'll start to move as normal. Things will start to pick up here as well. Nonetheless, keep on powering through. It's a little bit slow like I said, but you will eventually start to be able to walk again and things will pick up speed. This section really isn't that hard at all. There's not a lot that can go wrong here. If this is your first play though of this section, then I would say enjoy the cutscenes. Don't skip them and come back to this at a later date to get the S rank. That is something I would advise on S ranks with Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. When it comes to S ranks, you can get them on your first attempt, but then you normally miss out on vital story cutscenes and stuff. I feel it's also better and far more efficient to come back to these missions and replay them in order to get that S rank, because not only will you know where you're going and what you're doing, or a general idea of what you're doing, but you'll have access to far more better weaponry that help achieve that S rank. This is all thanks to Mother Base. At Mother Base, you need to develop weapons that will help you achieve the grade you want. My advice when it comes to the Mother Base upgrades is to focus on non-lethal weaponry, rocket launchers, and sniper rifles. Of course, some other vitals as well need attention, like photon recovery systems and stuff. But in order to get the S ranks on these various missions, you'll need non-lethal weaponry, sniper rifles, both lethal and non-lethal, and rocket launchers to take out tanks and stuff. Now in this section here you can get spotted. Follow Ishmael into this door and you'll see it's a hospital ward. Now two soldiers come in the other end. Now they will start methodically checking each bed, shooting patients. What you have to do here is to sneak under the bed in between the time it takes the soldier to go from one bed to the other. It's not too difficult at all, just follow what I do here in the video. Another bonus you want to achieve if you're going for the stealth route, if possible, is the no reflexes. Reflex moments are when you get spotted, you'll have a few seconds of slowdown in order to take out the foe who spotted you. If you can get through a mission without triggering this, you'll get a bonus. Now each mission does come with set objectives as well. You have a few more additional objectives you can do whilst on the mission, and achieving these can help increase your score and thus increase your chance of getting the S rank. However, if they're too convoluted or take too much time, just ignore them and come back to them when you're not going for that S rank. Going back to talk about S ranks, you don't have to be completely stealthy to get an S rank, but it does help If you don't go for the stealth route, then you just have to be very, very quick in getting to your objective. Going the stealth route means that it is easier, although a little bit longer, to achieve that S rank. If you are going the stealth route, the main bonus you want to try to get yourself is the perfect stealth no kills. That means that you can take on foes with non-lethal weaponry, take them out or fault and recover them, but it means you haven't actually killed anyone. That is the main bonus you want to get if you're going the stealth route. There is one more bonus that will guarantee you an S rank no matter how long you take, and that is a bonus called No Trace. I will demonstrate this one in the next mission. Basically, no trace means that you have not been spotted at all, you haven't pulled the trigger, you haven't taken anyone out in close combat. Basically, it means you've done nothing offensive in order to achieve your goals. Next, we're following Ishmael out into the corridor. Here again, it's just a simple case of playing dead. All you have to do is go prone, lay on the floor, don't move, and you should be fine. Now, like I said in the review, I like to take on missions as stealthily as possible. However, that doesn't mean that I won't kill people. I mean, there are some times when, if you're trying to go for the S rank especially, people can be eliminated so quickly that it makes up for losing out on the perfect stealth no kill bonus. The prologue mission, if you're going for the S rank, it does take a little while. There are a lot of moments where you'll be standing around waiting for Ishmael things to happen, which it gets a little bit tiring and boring after a while. That being said though, there are a few moments where you can get spotted or shot or killed. So if you are unlucky enough to get killed, shot, or something to mess up your S rank, then instead of restarting from a checkpoint, instead just restart the mission, because if you start from the checkpoint it will count as a retry, and thus you'll lose out on your no retries bonus. Now, as I mentioned, each mission has additional objectives. With the Prologue Awakening, you have 2 additional objectives. Now, one of them applies to something I've said already, and that is get through the mission without triggering reflex mode. In order to do this, all you have to do is not get spotted. You can, if you want, to make this easier, go into the options menu and actually turn off reflex mode altogether. This will mean that reflex mode will never be triggered and give you that bonus at the end of the mission. The second additional objective is to not allow the man on fire to actually use an attack against you. I will go over this in more detail during that section when the mission comes to that point. I should mention also one more tip for getting S ranks, and that is what your character wears, what outfit they're wearing. For example, depending on the camouflage colour of your outfit, it can make it harder for enemies to spot you. Also, with that in mind, I'm probably going to be using the sneaking suit as much as possible, as it softens your footsteps, making it harder for enemies to actually hear you, which is good all round. Okay, in broad daylight is a bit easier to spot, but again, most of the missions I will be tackling will be at night, unless I specify otherwise. Anyway, once you get into this room and that, the room will start lighting up on fire and you'll have a short gun tutorial. What you do here is you have to shoot the fire extinguisher, not too hard at all. After which you'll go around the corner and there'll be 2 guards. Unfortunately, I found out no way to actually get past this bit without killing them, so simply shoot them in the head to at least get a takedown bonus. For taking on these guards, it's best to do it in first person mode. You can take them on in third person, but at this distance, anything other than close range, the third person aiming is not as reliable as going first person. Okay, the iron sights on the pistol are not the most accurate, but with practice you should easily be able to land headshots with this weapon. Actually, you should practice and get used to the iron sights of this weapon, as the tranquilizer pistol I will be using for a lot of these S ranks have similar iron sights. After which you'll enter a cutscene, which you can simply skip again, and then you'll be in a room that does have enemies. Now what you have to do is follow the route I take here. I believe there are multiple ways of doing this, I just found this way the safest. The guards down here are a little bit slower than some of the guards you find in the game, so take any of the guards that are in your way out. As you can see, I almost got spotted at one point, so the guards who did sort of notice me there would probably go and inspect it, which means that you can't be too slow here. You can wait instead of taking on these guards for the perfect moment till they have their backs turned, but I found it just quicker to take them out. Anyway, once you've got a clear shot, make a break for the door. There'll be a short quick time event here. I think it's one of the only ones in the game where you have to press square to dive out of the way, and it will trigger the next cutscene. There's a fair amount of cutscenes that follow. Simply skip these like I said, and you'll go into the next section of this prologue, which is a chase between you and the guy on fire. So now that you're on horseback, your final objective is to basically just hold off this fire guy for as long as possible. Here, your weapon will have changed to a shotgun thanks to Ocelot. It's a fairly straightforward gun, although like all shotguns, it's better at close range. So all you have to do here is shoot the man on fire every time he gets close to you. You will occasionally get hit by these pillars of flame coming out the floor. Don't worry about it, they don't count as taking a hit. Rather than fire wildly, just wait a little bit until he gets a little bit closer to you so the shotgun can have the best effect. Also, when he is at a fair distance, take this time to reload the weapon. You do have a finite amount of ammo, so don't waste it. His main damaging attack is when he's really close to you. He'll throw back his hand, indicating that he's about to attack you. Take this opportunity to interrupt him. He'll still shoot, but the fireballs will go over your head instead. Once you've held him off for a set amount of time, then the mission will eventually come to its end. Now, as I mentioned previously in this video, you will have an additional objective during this fight with the man on fire on horseback, and that is to not let him attack you. To do this, like I said, just keep on laying on a rain of fire on him every time he gets close to you. Getting hit with the flames that come out the floor won't actually count as an attack from the man on fire, so you don't have to worry about these, as I already mentioned. The only attack that counts and will take away this bonus from you is if he's able to actually shoot you with his fireballs from his hand. This section is not too hard, but considering how difficult the overall prologue has been, this could be considered the most tense sequence. I mean, overall the prologue is story focused, it's not so much focused on the gameplay, it only has minimum gameplay elements. It also could be considered a heavy tutorial level as well, obviously interspersed with the story moments. You can tell when the sequence is about to end because the weather will change, it will start to rain, and the man on fire doesn't actually function very well at all in rain. So when the weather does change, you know you've only got a few seconds left to hold out and keep the man on fire from catching up to you. This last bit can be a bit scary because your shotgun blasts don't seem to damage him as much as he keeps catching up and getting closer and closer to you, but this is all part of the scripted sequence, so don't worry about it too much. One thing though that I should say is that if you do get hit either by the man on fire or by the soldiers in the previous sections, don't worry too much. A single hit is not going to take away your S rank bonus. It may mean a lower score than you can possibly get, but to be honest, these guys are focusing on solely getting that S rank, and in the long run getting you your achievement or trophy that is related to getting S ranks on every mission. Eventually though, as you can see, the man on fire's relentless assault does come to an end, spelling the end of this mission. So there we have it, we have the S rank. As you can see that I didn't get the perfect stealth no kill bonus, but I made up for that with a quick time as well as additional bonuses like no reflexes. So I hope this video helps, and until next time, I've been Darcblade, bringing you a tactical guidance operation video to how to achieve an S rank on the Prologue Awakening on Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. Hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.